There's something engraved on it. H.G. Riquetti. Comte de Mirabeau. I have just come from the Tuileries. The armoire d'affaires has been ransacked.
Diable. Someone beat us to it. This is very unfortunate. God only knows what we would have found there.
Whoever it was had to fight for it. I found a body there, killed by automats.
Mon Dieu. How dreadful.
Dreadful indeed. Especially since I discovered this in the victim's hand.
And what is that, pray tell?
A dueling pistol. With your name engraved on its plate.
Oh, May we? You're right. It is my pistol. It was stolen along with a number of other things. It happened just before the Estates General at my lodgings in Versailles. But how on earth did my weapon end up in the hands of this poor soul?
I am certain we will find an explanation. I'm going to have a look around. With your permission, of course.
Well, since I'm in no position to dissuade you...
I'm going to have a look around.
Well...
You appear to have burnt these papers in a hurry. I'm eager to hear your explanation.
It's nothing at all, I assure you. Frivolous letters that were cluttering my desk.
I find your defense unconvincing. Why won't you tell me the truth?
You don't understand. This is a matter of the utmost importance that I cannot discuss with a creature such as yourself.
I am an automat, monsieur. This is true. But I serve the Queen. And my only aim is to put a stop to the crimes that have befallen the kingdom.
Well, know that you're not alone in serving the Queen.
What was in those letters you threw into the fire?
My private correspondence with the King. I had a key to the armoire, which served as a mailbox.
Are you conspiring with the King?
No, you don't understand. I was something of a shadow advisor, a diplomat, working in complete discretion. I feared his stubbornness would lead the kingdom to ruin, so I tried to reassure him regarding the aims of the Third Estate. But when Vaucanson told me what happened at Meudon, I realized it was a lost cause.
You claim to be a friend of the Queen.
The King has gone insane. After what happened at Meudon, that much is clear. We can no longer expect any leniency from him. Hence my support for his wife. She's a headstrong woman, and much wiser than she lets on. You must know that she means to put her youngest on the throne, the young prince, Louis Charles. A regency would restore peace and unity to the kingdom. Then all that would remain would be to establish a constitution. I have the support of the people. They trust me. I'm the only one that can bring about these reforms.
I found your pistol in the hands of a dead man. Who was this unfortunate soul?
Mathieu, one of the servants I had sent to retrieve the letters. I gave him the pistol for self-defense. Alas, it seems it was of little use to him against the King's automats.
Tell me, what happened at Meudon?
It's all here in this letter, written in the King's own hand. Please, give it to the Queen. She must learn the truth.
Why were you in such a hurry to destroy your correspondence?
The letters contained sensitive information about my Third Estate colleagues. If it had gotten out, I would have surely lost my allies' trust, as well as any hope of establishing a regency along with it.
What is this?
Oh, that. It is a missive sent by my father, the Marquis de Mirabeau, the scoundrel who shamelessly dares to call himself the friend of man. He writes to say that he is on the brink of death, in such a desperate state that he has received extreme unction. This reprobate used his final moments on this mortal plane to send me threats yet again. He swears that he will torment me from beyond the grave.
How is that possible?
To my knowledge, he has not yet deigned to shuffle off this mortal coil. In any case, the satisfaction of knowing he is dead would not assuage my concern. This man is more persistent than the plague. He's capable of anything. He has spent his entire life persecuting his family, and I believe he is ready to spend his eternal rest continuing to do the same. I need to know what he's planning.
Where is he now?
At his home in Argenteuil. Given the circumstances, going to ask him for an explanation is out of the question. If only I could speak with Monseigneur de la Fare, the bishop who heard his last confession.
Monseigneur, I would like to talk to you about your recent meeting with the Marquis de Mirabeau.
What has gotten into all of you? This has gone on long enough. I will say it one last time and pray that they will finally leave me alone. Nothing and no one will make me violate the secrecy of his confession. Have I made myself clear?
Perfectly clear, Monseigneur. Alas, the bishop stubbornly refused to reveal anything.
Damn it. I need to know what my rogue of a father is up to. Let me think. In light of the cartload of threats he sent me, it's safe to wager that my sister and mother received similar letters. They may even have already suffered his revenge. However, my sister lives in Grasse in the south of France. Unless a messenger rode 100 horses to death, she could not have received this letter. Then there is my poor mother.
If you ask me, I will go to find her.
Yes, it's very kind of you to offer. But I couldn't even tell you where she is staying.
Your own mother?
Indeed. It's a very embarrassing matter. A secret, which I beg you not to divulge.
I can be discreet. Rest assured.
Very well. You should know that my mother, the Countess of Covey, has lost everything. Truly. First, her fortune, then her faculties. No matter what I tried, nothing could prevent her decline. It is said that she is now living on charity, in the most abject poverty in the slums of the Marais. If perchance your past takes you to this dreadful place, and if she still remembers who she is, perhaps you may meet her. Have you found my mother?
No, not yet.
Remember, rumor has it she lives in the slums of the Marais, in the shadow of the Bastille.
The Comtesse de Covey. The poor thing. This is not the work of an automat, but of a common thug, no doubt. Now I must bring the terrible news to Monsieur de Mirabeau. Unfortunately, I come bearing sad news.
Go on, Aegis. There is no need to spare me. This is about my mother, isn't it?
Indeed. The Countess is no longer of this world.
Yes. It was to be feared. I knew she was lost a long time ago. The poor woman. At last she has been delivered from the madness that drove her into the gutter.
It gets worse.
Worse, you say?
Your mother did not die of poverty. She was killed.
Murdered? No. No, my father. The rabid dog made good on his threat. May he roast in the fires of hell for all eternity. As for you, Bishop, do you finally understand the man's true nature? How much longer will you protect this demon?
I share your grief, Monsieur de Mirabeau, but the secrets of...
Enough! You sanctimonious bigot! Is it not enough for you to serve the people absurd fables that condemn them to ignorance? Must you also submit to the whims of a malicious old brute? The scourge of his own family? Speak! Speak now, or so help me, I will send you to meet your maker.
Please, monsieur, let us not get carried away. Out of respect for your grief, and given the extraordinary circumstances, I consent to enlighten you.
I am listening, Monseigneur.
I admit that your father is an unusual person, inhabited by an anger whose source is undetermined. He blamed you, your sister, and your poor mother for all of his misfortunes. I stayed by his bedside an entire night. I preached about mercy and the example of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Ha! That must have gone over well.
Do not mock me, Monsieur de Mirabeau. At dawn, I finally got Monsieur le Marquis to see the error of his ways. Before God, he extended forgiveness to all those he had previously condemned.
However, he did not give up his plans for revenge. The fate reserved for my mother is proof of this.
In fact, monsieur, he did. He even gave me a leather wallet containing, in his words, the instrument of your punishment. He asked me to dispose of it. Unfortunately, your mother's fate was already sealed. Orders had been given. There was nothing more that could be done. The poor soul. He was in tears, his body racked with sobs.
My heart breaks to hear it. What was in the wallet?
I don't know, monsieur. I did not open it.
In that case, I ask you to give it to me now.
I cannot, monsieur. When I was captured, the wallet fell into the hands of the Comte de Cagliostro.
Nom de nom, Aegis. Do you realize what this means? This wallet contains my father's sentences for his children. Me, of course, but also my sister, the Marquise de Cabri. You must find it at all costs. Our fate is in your hands. Cagliostro must have put it in a safe place, somewhere known only to him.
The Marquise de Capri, dites-vous?
Yes, that is my sister Louise's title.
Fortune favors you today. It so happens that I already have this wallet. It was in a secret workshop by the Tuileries, where the Count conducts his sinister experiments.
Oh, how fortunate. What does it contain?
2 envelopes addressed to the Lieutenant General de Police. One of them had this letter in it. It concerns your sister, the Marquise de Capri.
Let's see. A lettre de cachet signed by my father. He gave orders to have my sister locked up in a convent. His unique variety of fatherly love is unmistakable. What was in the second envelope?
It is empty.
Empty? Mon Dieu. You don't have to be a genius to guess that it contained a similar document, this time concerning myself. If the envelope was empty, it means that this letter has already been delivered to its recipient. By Cagliostro, no doubt. The monster must have felt a perverse sense of joy as he devoured its contents. Aegis, you must retrieve this letter at all costs. If the Lieutenant General attaches a seal and gives it to his underlings at the Châtelet, I am done for.
Where does this Lieutenant General reside?
Right by the fortress. He's a dutiful man and prides himself on never straying too far from it. Please hurry, I beg of you. Have you found the missing letter?
No. It is not yet in my possession.
You should look near the Châtelet. In addition to being an officer there, the Lieutenant General de Police lives near the fortress. Don't forget that my time is running out.
Citoyen Mirabeau. Here is the letter sent by your father to the Lieutenant General de Police. You were right.
Mon Dieu. So this is what the Cur had in store for me. A new lettre de cachet with a royal seal. He sentenced me to spend the rest of my days in the Chateau de Vincennes. To return to the cell where he had me locked up 12 years ago. Those 10 square feet where I lay at death's door for 42 months on end. 14 seasons, spent with chattering teeth, coughing up a bucket full of bile and blood every day.
Your own father had you thrown in jail.
Alas, such is the sad truth.
What crime did he hold you to be guilty of?
He disapproved of the follies of the young man I was back then, and my love for a certain someone. A woman whom an unjust law kept me apart from. I was free and besotted with happiness, Aegis. And that was a crime in the eyes of my father, the Marquis. I sullied the Mirabeau name, so he felt it necessary to steal my youth and clap his wayward son in irons.
What does this letter matter, in the face of the mortal peril that hangs over all the king's enemies?
You must put yourself in my shoes to understand. If the king wins this war, he will send all the brave men here to the scaffold, and I am certain they will climb the steps with their heads held high. But if you hadn't taken that letter, I would have suffered a far darker fate. Louis the Mad would have made it his duty to respect my father's last wishes, but I would rather die, whether a hero or a coward, than return to Vincennes. There is no worse hell on earth than that infernal dungeon.
Was there no trial?
One would imagine. Those damned lettres de cachet. For centuries, a powerful man, whether a king or a father, needs simply put pen to paper, and an innocent man is thrown into prison. The poor soul sees neither judge nor lawyer. In the space of an hour, he moves from the light into darkness, and his cries for help fall futilely on the cold stone of the dungeon walls. I am just one of many victims, whose ranks range from the most famous to the most lowly, from Voltaire and Diderot to the unfortunate children whose dark fates will never be known. In any case, I must now express my eternal gratitude, even though no words, no matter how eloquent, can express its depth. I owe everything to you, Aegis. You, who've broken my chains forever. Whatever happens now, I will be free to live or die for the nation. As for the Marquis de Mirabeau, that criminal whom misfortune chose as my father, let us consider him dead, shall we? Let him choke on loneliness and regret once and for all.